lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. Now, we are joined by Righteous Force, Paul, Quantum Eraser, Jibby Jedi, Chocolate Saiyan, Arwin and 10th Man in G+, and we're also joined by a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome one and all.
Hello.
Hello. Don't forget the one joining you on your chest.
We've also got Ranty. Sorry,
Hello.
forgot all about him.
I thought you was going to ignore me, didn't I?
Sorry, Ranty.
Sorry,
Our
man.
most
On your
distinguished
lap.
guest.
It's been a while, brother.
Our most distinguished guest of all. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. I give you Ranty Flat Earth.
Hey. Thanks for the intro.
Yeah!
How is everybody anyway? How is everybody doing?
Right, can someone else do housekeeping for me?
Oh, come on now. I want to know
Yeah.
how you're doing first.
I can take it if you like.
Perfect. 10th Man, you take over. So it's too noisy
right.
here.
Any signs of Earth curvature?
Yeah.
No signs of Earth curvature. However, there are 8 ballers in Discord right now. So perk up your ears, gentlemen, ladies. I'd like to hear some baller answers.
Let me address this to Discord directly. Okay. 8 ballers in Discord. Any signs of Earth curvature?
Yeah.
All righty. Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Nope.
Nope.
Discord?
I think Menace to Sobriety had something to say about that.
All right, speak up. Three, two, one. All right. Any scientific evidence for gravity?
Yeah. No. What is it?
What did they say it is, Armin?
I don't know. They seem to be very
Are you
divided.
talking about
They say it's the bending of a
theory of
conceptual
gravity
medium.
or the law of gravity?
Well, I asked Armin
Oh,
a
we got a
question.
baller.
It sounded like chocolate
talking.
talked, and Highlander gave the topic.
Or maybe Highlander knows a little bit more than me about it.
Go ahead, Highlander.
I was just asking what gravity you were asking about, that's all.
Well, which one? How many do you have?
But are you talking about the law of gravity?
There is no
And
law of
what's
gravity.
the other one?
It's debunked by a helium balloon. That's not a law.
Well,
Any form of gravity.
Hang on, before we tear it
if it's a
apart, how
law,
many?
then it can't be debunked, then can it? If it's a law.
Yeah, and if it has been debunked, it isn't a law. So, not
Right.
a law.
Yeah, it's a law in the Newtonian setting. It's not a natural law. It's not the same kind.
It's more like up there with look both ways for crossing the street before you get a jaywalking ticket. It's that type of law as opposed to a natural law.
So more like a policy.
So Highlander,
A
what's the
guideline.
other one? Highlander, you made it sound like there was more than one gravity. What's the other one?
Sorry, I've got a real bad cough. Einstein's explanation for gravity.
And would you do us a favor and tell us what that is?
Well, sorry. you
No,
you
go ahead,
already
talk.
know what it is. You say it every day on the show.
He's asking
No,
you
no,
because
yeah.
you've brought it up.
Thank you.
Maybe you need
Clarify
a bit of.
terms.
Do you need a bit of leading, 10th man? Maybe you could tell us the name of the geometry for Einstein's gravity.
Pseudo-Riemannian force space.
Not you, 10th man. God,
Shut up.
you're asking the questions.
He was coughing. I was helping him out.
Yeah, maybe he just needs a spoon of
Yeah,
honey.
I do apologise. I don't think Nathan wants me coughing all over his show.
Definitely not. Thank you.
Somebody get him a
Sorry.
spoon of honey.
Only if you're
Spoonful
spewing
of
out the
flat Earth
facts.
will help the medicine go down.
Nice. All right.
Cigarettes are a cough suppressant. True story.
Any evidence of self-perpetuating molten iron core at the center of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Well, if it's presupposed, that would mean it doesn't actually exist until proven. So no.
Hey, I have actually something interesting to add to that specific concept, the molten iron core, because I've spent a lot of my time in my life watching Star Trek episodes and science fiction things in general, right? So
Arwen, before you go, just give us an answer. Is there or there isn't before you get conceptual?
no, but it's relevant.
I'm glad you said it with some empathy.
Right, of course there's no but the thing is that I've never had seen any kind of attention really spent to the concept of a supposed molten iron core at M-class planets, as they call it, which are suitable for a life like Earth. Never really spent a lot of time with it. There is more time spent on stars, their inner content, what's supposedly happening over there, and black holes and wormholes, but very little attention spent to the concept of a molten core of any kind of M-class planet. Even though there is always tectonic activities, earthquakes, they do add that, but never attention to a molten iron core. Never.
So you're saying that in the pseudo scripts of Star Trek and other space movies, they don't pay attention to molten iron core?
No, other than literally in their school system, pointing it out on a graph? No. Funnily enough.
Well, no, there's been episodes where planets are in distress because their core is erupting and the planet's about to explode and they have to evacuate the people off the planet. So they do address the cores of these M-class planets on occasion.
No, but
Thank
not
you.
really.
Thank you for getting to the core of the subject. Can we
No,
move on?
but not really. It's a plot device. They never spend anything technical to it. It's a plot device, like you said.
Because it's bullshit.
It's gonna explode because the core. That's literally the setup for such an episode. They don't spend attention to why
The
or how.
most they would add to it would say that the sun in that solar system is the cause of the core's destabilization, but they don't. That's about as much detail as they get in.
Right, like it gives some kind of special radiation or whatever, and
Yeah.
All right. Can we get
that's
out of
usually what
Narnia?
they try to pull with that. Yeah.
Let's get out of Narnia. Any evidence for the distance of the sun?
Absolutely not.
Discord? Actual, apparent, Discord, anything? All right.
I have something to bring up. I have something to bring up about
Okay.
the molten iron core. If you want to just go back on that.
Oh, yes.
Sure, go
definitely.
ahead.
Yes,
Go ahead,
please.
Francis.
Okay. So, if you guys are aware of the fracking that goes on.
No
Right.
swearing.
So in the UK, it's all fracking has been ceased now for the time being, at least. And there was an article as to why. I'll read you a part of that article now. It says, asked on BBC Radio 4 Today programme why that was. Mrs. Leadsom said shale gas is a huge opportunity for the UK. We will follow the science, and it is quite clear that we can't be certain. The science isn't accurate enough to be able to assess the fault lines. The geological studies have been shown to be inaccurate. Well. So geological studies, science, all wrong about these fault lines and how things are made up just from fracking. Who would have thought? Because when we bring up the borehole, we're told that with the borehole, the issue with that is that it was in the 1970s and that technology has improved since then. And now they're much able, they have more technology. They're able to see what's going down in these layers. Conspiracy cats is a big one on this. Well, they can't even get it right for shale, for fracking, which is apparently, if you're going to be looking for an industry to invest in, that's huge. So if they can't even get it right for that, guys.
I'm sorry, where was the science in that? I missed that part.
Fracking
Other than the
boreholes.
It says, we will follow the science, and it is quite clear that we can't be certain. The science isn't accurate enough to be able to assess the fault lines. The geological studies have been shown to be inaccurate. In other words, everything they expected to find when they dug down the layers weren't as they expected to find them. And that's why there was earthquakes.
They missed the point he's asking about, Grunty. Yeah, you've missed his point. So he's saying, where's the science? Because they put the magic word in of science only to go on to say geological studies, which aren't science. So they use the magic word, but then they don't back it with any science.
No, worse than that, they even blame it. It's because of the science is bad.
I mean, it's quite clear that they basically, have thrown science and geological studies under the bus with why they've had to cancel this fracking, because it's a huge humiliation for the UK. We took on this industry because it's near where I live, actually, and I actually felt the 2.9 earthquake when it went off. So, it was a fair distance away. It was a good 8 to 10 miles away when this earthquake happened, and I felt it. Anyway, so they cancelled that. But it's been a huge embarrassment for the UK and for the government, because they were fully behind this. All the people that were going out with the placards saying this industry's dangerous, you don't know what you're doing. They were saying, no, the science says it's good. The science says it's fine. When they got the latest 2.9, then they had to stop it. And now they're blaming science and blaming geological studies for being inaccurate.
What does science, when you throw it under the bus, what does it look like?
Like a squashed egg.
Like a flat globe.
And when science is saying, does science have lips or vocal cords?
Absolutely. They are legion.
Well, that's just another one to add to the borehole. For this, geological studies can show, what the makeup of the Earth is, because clearly they haven't got the foggiest idea.
Fracking boreholes.
It's worse. Fracking is terrible, in my personal opinion. Not just because they're screwing with the ground, but because they're actually injecting freaking poison in it.
So now they're screwing the ground, fracking boreholes.
Hey, Brian.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Brian. Anything you want to say, Brian, before we move on to the next housekeeping question?
Move on.
I only just came in there right now, so.
All right, no problem. Any evidence of radius of the Earth, the R value?
No.
The radius of what?
Presupposition of Earth radius. No evidence
Discord.
of R. It's just a presupposition.
Is there any ballers in Discord want to come out on that one, since you say this?
Did Adam get arrested?
Yes, he did.
Okay, any evidence that you can have gas pressure without
one second.
necessary? Yes.
Man, before you go forward, would this be a good time to bring up the equator thing?
No, we're in the housekeeping questions.
Kind of. It's distance to the sun related, but 10th man's running the housekeeping, so it's up to him. But it's kind of distance to the sun related, correct?
I could go either way. We only got 2 questions left.
No R value.
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
Well, for them to prove, if they proved R of 24,840 miles, like for the equator to be that size, the radius has to be around 4,000 miles. But a straight line distance from the North Pole to Libreville, which is just north of the equator, at about 6,000 plus miles, means there's 2,000 miles of a discrepancy there. So we can't have an equator that is 24,840 miles in circumference. It's not possible. The only way to have that is that if we're on a globe. It's impossible.
It's the other way around. It must be that way to be a globe. Therefore, it is that measurement. So it's the other way around.
Exactly. Yeah. The only way for us to have that measurement as an equator is to actually be on a globe.
So explain it again. Reiterate your 2,000-mile discrepancy.
But if you do a straight line measurement from the North Pole to Libreville, and Libreville, I think, is like 46 or 40 kilometers north of the equator line, it comes out at just over 6,000 miles. Now, on their model of their globe, their radius of the globe is around 4,000. So the only way that their model can, like the only way there can be an equator measurement of 24,900 miles is if we're on a globe. Because what they do is they stretch the distance around the globe. That's what they've been doing.
Are you trying to say if we're on the smaller globe in there's?
No, it's just their globe. It's like they stretch the distance. Like for us, it's a straight line distance from the North Pole to Libreville. A straight line.
Okay, hold on a second. You said North Pole, right? Are you saying magnetic north or true north?
Just whatever. I'm only going by whatever.
You better get specific because those are two drastically different concepts.
Yes, there is a difference in those two, but I'm just going by a basic measurement on.
Well, you got to know where you're measuring from. Are you measuring from magnetic north or there? I understand we're in their fairy tale paradigm, but you got to be correct in their fairy tale paradigm. So, are you measuring from magnetic north or true north?
I'm not sure which one because I'm getting the measurements online.
Then you can't make that claim until you find that out. You can't make that claim, right?
Well, I can make the claim that we can't have an equator of 24,840 miles.
Yeah, but not using those premises. You can't.
Well,
okay, Brian.
How can you have a straight line distance? Brian, 1 second, man. How can you have a straight line distance to Libreville of 6,000?
You have to know where you start to compute a straight line distance.
But their measurement of a straight line, their measurement of 1 second, their measurement of.
You would say.
Did he say measurement?
Because I would no, actually it is true north. It is true north. They're using true north. That's what it is. I know now from what our calculations I did. It is true north. Not magnetic.
What source did you go to get this?
Just online. Just there's distance.to and there's other ones there's time and date and that. But it is true north because if you measure 69 degrees by 90 times, you get 6,210, and that's just over the measurement from what they're saying the North Pole is to Libreville.
Why don't you go ahead?
Libreville is just north of the equator.
Just go ahead, show us that when you get a chance, get on Google Earth or whatever and show it.
What do you want me to show?
This is what I told you earlier, Brian. Put it together. And let's present it to QE, remember?
Well, I have stuff I've put together. I'm going to bring it as a presentation about it.
It's not only for me, it's for everyone in the audience so they can understand what he's talking about.
Yeah, well, basics of it, anyone can check
I already
the radius
know
of the globe.
No. Brian, when can you show it? When can you show it, Brian?
I'll have to look. I can't show it right now today. I'll have to get a bit of a presentation together. I can bring the presentation forward, a shorter version of it onto Nathan.
Brian, it's no problem, man. We
Next
got a
week.
weekend. Just do it up during the weekend, and we'll talk about it Monday or something.
Our
That's cool.
presentation would only take less than
Okay.
2 minutes.
Say that again, QE.
It would only take it would take less than 2 minutes to show this. Yeah, a straight
You
line
just want to.
Oh my God! Go ahead.
No. I was just asking. Do you want just the basics on that? Just those 3 or 4 measurements. Just
Just
showing.
the basics. You measure from point. Here is point A. Here is point B. Here's the distance measurement. Presentation over.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Sometime next week, Brian, will that work?
Well, I could go and have a look at it now. Is there a second show today? I don't know.
We're live.
Yeah,
But
don't
is
worry
there another
about it.
show
Just
after
come
this?
on. Whenever you have it, come on. How's that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, okay.
Perfect. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of the container to press upon?
No.
Discord? Guess not. All right, let's round it out. In 81%, a single viable scientific hypothesis in the entire history of either astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics. Who's eating candy?
That was me, sorry.
Island.
Silence, Legolas.
I love it. All right.
No, I don't think so.
So no viable scientific hypothesis in the entire history?
No, they
Astronomy, cosmology, astrophysics?
computers. They just use the computers. Remember?
So are they devoid of the scientific method in those fields?
Yeah, I think so. Admittedly so.
Scientific method. Leaps of logic. Skin of our pants. It's guesswork. Yeah, all right.
That concludes the House
we
leading
don't use-
questions.
My colleagues, we don't use.
Exactly.
Something up with your,
Hold
on. Sorry, 1 sec, 10th man. Is something up with your audio, QE? You keep cutting out.
No, he did that on purpose.
Oh.
No, I'm not cutting out. People over talking me.
He was playing the part of the Michio Kaku.
We don't understand this. We don't use the scientific method.
They don't understand?
Now, he was probably going a middle road in deciding to say the standard argument you don't understand, but then he realized, wait, I'm actually being interviewed by a non-flat earther. So he then proceeded to do the other thing. But he was going to accuse the other of saying, oh, you just don't understand.
No, he wasn't. He was literally saying his field of expertise, astrophysicists, don't understand the scientific method. But then he self-corrected and said, don't use.
But that must... But that wouldn't make any sense.
The greatest part is he said, nobody that I know of in my field.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, thanks for throwing your entire field under the bus. Thanks.
What would that look like?
We're not going to get
Nothing.
that.
They don't have a field. So
we're not going to get a conceptualization.
Just a regular bus driver on the street.
We're not going to get a conceptualization of a reification of what science would look like when squashed by a metaphor of it being run over. You know what I mean?
Well, you could have a flat universe confined in a two-dimensional space in between the bus and the ground, but it would still be conceptual, though.
Oh, I know, man. You can do your help with that. Pseudo McWestian 2 space. That's what you need.
I have a question, guys, because obviously I've not heard you guys for a couple of weeks, but Infowars put a video out recently about flat Earth. Have you discussed that on the show?
Yeah, we did. A little bit. Yep.
Do you know what I found interesting as well about that is that there was a couple of images on there that they used of my photography, but what was interesting was that one of these images isn't a very well known image. It's kind of obscure and something that I've not used for about 3 months. So clearly they've been saving imagery and they're following the debates for sure, because I don't think I ever put that video or part of that video out on my own channel. It was where I went into the middle of the road and photographed the lampposts down the road, and that image was only shown maybe 3 or 4 times in total, and the last time was about 3 months ago. So it definitely shows that they've been following and taking notes. What do you think, Guy?
Or maybe somebody mirrored those footages of yours from the show.
Are you gonna copyright strike him?
No, not at all. No, but no, it wasn't. When I saw those 2 images pop up, I went, "Holy shit, they're mine!" I thought, "Yes, nice one." But then when I thought about it, I thought, "Well, why are they using images that are very obscure images of mine, and not more of the more recognizable ones? You know, and things that haven't been shown for such a long time." Just made a little bit of no sense kind of thing, because unless they're actually following the debates, you know, and following this, or somebody is. There's definitely somebody looking in.
I think they wanted to use your material because it's excellent, but they didn't want to use your prime material as to not draw in copyright strike-like attention, because they don't really know what's going to happen. So that seems the logical reason to do it.
Ranty,
Well,
I
I
think
wouldn't
the
copyright
point you're
strike
trying to
them
make,
anyway,
if I'm
if they're
not
listening.
mistaken, is that they've archived everything, and this was something you used not too much, and all of a sudden you saw it, so it makes you think that they're archiving everything.
Yes, yeah. There's definitely people following, paying attention, and taking imagery, and thinking, yeah, this is what, you know, we're understanding what they're saying, and this is a good example of that. As I say, this was about perspective, and the perspective view that they used, the lampposts down the promenade. I have a better one probably when I took it on the way to Southport, an image of the lampposts on the way down there. There's probably a better image, but they used this more obscure image to show the same thing, which I found quite amusing actually. And then they used the was it, I can't remember what boat it was now. There was another boat. I think it was the one that I did on the 24th of December of last year. So it was like hidden boat or something. Sneak boat. That was what it was called. Sneak boat. So they used an image from Sneak boat as well. And so yeah, definitely old footage.
They didn't use the Stena line, did they?
No, it wasn't the Stena line one. No.
They might be saving that one. Because
hold on,
if they saw that one,
hold on, Chocolate. Sorry, you'll have to remind people what Sneak boat is. Sorry for all my background noise.
So Sneak boat, I was down on the steps by the promenade, and I'm filming Barrow in Furnace, and I was doing a time lapse. So I'd been filming for perhaps an hour or so. It was bitterly cold, freezing. Filmed looking at Barrow the whole time. Saw the inferior mirage go higher and higher and higher. And then when I actually finished up packing away and climbed up the steps, I looked back at Barrow in Furnace and I saw that there was a tanker that had gone past my viewing between me and Barrow in Furnace, and I hadn't seen it. It had all been hidden behind the inferior mirage. So this boat sneaked in across and up the estuary without me even seeing it. And I was filming it the entire time. So obviously I immediately started recording again, and then went up and down the steps to show you how the inferior mirage was blocking this boat out completely. And I got the distances. The boat was only 7 miles away, and a viewer height of about 8 feet. You couldn't see any of this boat. You know, you're talking a tanker. It was about 80 feet tall. You know, the boat was only 7 miles away. You couldn't see it behind an inferior mirage. And this is why I called it Sneak boat, because it sneaked in without me seeing it. It's actually the one as well where there's another boat in the foreground, and you can clearly see two boats with an inferior mirage on each. And when you actually put the lines across, you realize they're in a different position, which proves that it's an angle as opposed to a physical Earth curvature, which is what the globe used to say it was.
Shock when it went in front or behind, I forget which.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't even know there was a boat there. That's the whole thing. That's why I called it Sneak Boat, because I was filming Barrow in Furnace, and I was showing how the inferior mirage was, as the tide was coming in, the inferior mirage was just enveloping the mountain in the background. And then when I actually climbed up the steps and looked back, I could see this boat had clearly moved in front of my position where I was filming Barrow in Furnace. This 80-foot boat that's 7 miles away. That obviously you should see even on a globe. There's no way that there's enough curvature at that distance, but it was completely hidden. I never saw it. Never once did I see it. I was filming in 4K. The boat was never there, and obviously then I did some tests going up and down the steps to show how this inferior mirage was capable of hiding an entire boat at distances that you should be able to see it on either model. And it completely disproved their claim that the inferior mirage was Earth. This was just a great proof of that.
Ranty, just a follow-up question. What kind of day was it that the inferior mirage hid something 7 miles, and have you experienced other days where the inferior mirage hid something that was further out?
Yeah, all the time. All this year, for instance, I've been looking at Barrow in Furnace. I've always got that inferior mirage there. It's very rare that I can see the buildings of Barrow from a distance of anything greater than 20 miles away. It's really, really, really difficult because this inferior mirage just hides stuff. It repeats it takes an image of the sky above it or the mountain and repeats it underneath it, and it forms in the atmosphere, and it causes a physical blockage. You can't see things that are hidden behind it. And this, as I say, on the 24th of December, this was a great demonstration of that in actually happening in front of my own eyes. And then I actually did another video to show that this is the incremental steps up and down to show this. I think the temperature was about 5 degrees because it was December the 24th. I actually had flu that day. And it was bitterly cold, so I think it was about 5
Just for
degrees.
clarity, from the place you were filming to the furnace, how many miles?
Oh, right. So from where I was filming to Barrow in Furnace was 18 miles away. The boat traversed in front of my view at a distance of 7 miles away.
Okay, so
and I didn't see
18, so 18 miles away, and then the boat was 7 miles or just a little bit past. You didn't see it till you moved to higher ground.
Yep.
And then on other times you filmed, I guess this is the point I'm trying to make, that inferior mirage isn't always at that 7 mile mark. It could move, correct?
Oh, yeah. It's all dependent. Sometimes it can be higher. Sometimes it can be lower. Sometimes it can be a very thin inferior mirage, which means you see more of the bit of the distant land that you're trying to see or the boat. Other times the inferior mirage is really thick. And I've got plenty of imagery on my channel that shows all the different sizes that you get of these inferior mirage. And do I know what causes it? No, I just know that it's not in the atmosphere. It's not Earth curvature. It has to be in the atmosphere. That's what my research has shown. But do I know what causes it? No. I just know that it blocks things out.
Simple deduction would tell you that, because if on this day it was 7 miles away, and on other days it's say 12 miles away, if the Earth was curved, it doesn't change its curve from 7 to 12, does it?
Yeah. No, but there's also other things in this particular footage that demonstrates that. There's another boat nearer, and you can see that the inferior mirage on that is lower in the imagery as opposed to the inferior mirage of the boat behind it, which is higher up in the imagery. So you can definitely see that it's a gradient as opposed to a physical, edge of the sphere kind of thing. So that kind of debunks that notion there and then. It's a great image. I think, Nathan, you've got it with the two boats.
My apologies if you had a few drop frames in the live stream. I don't know why that's happened, but hopefully it'll resolve itself shortly.
Yeah, so yeah, going back to the original question, which was about this InfoWars thing. Have you guys discussed it? Because I haven't heard your opinion on it.
It seemed very,
Extensively.
if I'm honest, very 2015, talking about Admiral Byrd and things.
I don't necessarily agree. They really showed that they have dug into the material and understand the complexities and issues that are kind of going on. So it wasn't really
I
2000.
would kind of agree with Nathan. It was kind of 2015, but it kind of needs to be because look at the audience we're talking about. It's InfoWars. You know, Alex Jones and all these guys, they just started talking about this. This is brand new for them. So it doesn't really surprise me that, you know, they've gone kind of back to the roots, Admiral Byrd and all that. But I mean, for InfoWars and the audience that's watching that, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. That's, you know, a starting point. And, you know, a lot of us, I mean, if you realize this and you jump right into it, you're gonna run into that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just a lot of it's circumstantial, right?
I was surprised at how good it was too.
Yeah, when they
But
went
real
into
quick
the
here too, before
details
we get
about-
away from Randy and his pictures, I just want to point out the fact that this show really got its feet under itself in the beginning with Ranty and Ranty's images and the investigation and detailing of everything. It really gave the show legs to stand on, and then on top of that, also Quantum Eraser just killing it on the actual science aspect. Shout out to both of you. Over.
Are we forgetting about the Saint of Anthony? Patron saint of Sleeping Warrior? My god, so quickly we forget.
No, I just wasn't trying to take up too much airtime. Sorry. Shout out to Sleeping Warrior and Arwen too. The constant presence of the major panelists has been paramount in the success of the show and being able to stave off the overwhelming baller majority that the show began with. Over.
It's all good. I was only half joking, but yeah, Sleeping Warrior kind of, I would say, was a precursor to Ranty. So, you know, him and Sleeping Warrior together obviously went off initially before the debate existed to get Blackwall Tower. And then from there, it was more Isle of Man that kicked off the debate about the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Kirk calculator. But then we figured that out with Ranty's images, but we argued about them before we figured them out with Sleeping Warrior's images. So we were begging the question with Sleeping Warrior stuff and then figuring it out with Ranty's.
Yeah, it was a team effort, to be fair, and I have to also commend the Globers for actually coming around and sticking around with us at the beginning, because without their bullshit, we wouldn't have progressed as quickly as we did. So it was nice to have them keep coming back and making them fools of themselves, so that we could just disprove all their rhetoric.
And you had to eat your words on Ireland too, which, you know, I commend you for. Absolutely, you know. I think it's great. You know, it definitely shows honesty and they're admirable traits.
If we're wrong, we'll put our hands up. Simple as that. What we've realised is that, you know, even though the Globers say that with a big enough camera and a big enough zoom, you could see your own arse in a telescope, we also realise that that's just never going to happen on any model, because there is a limit to how far you can see through the atmosphere. So, you know, it just so happened that the Isle of Man and then Ireland led us on a path of angular size, and the realisation that, you know, trying to see a relatively low landmass at a distance of about 120 miles, you know, is pretty nigh on impossible from ground level, just due to its angular size. So all the mistakes that we made kind of helped us understand more going forward. So it was a win-win.
Yeah, one of the first things I remember hearing when I turned to the show was Nathan telling somebody like that's a lighthouse. We see it because it's there. You're saying that there's all this other nonsense that we have to deal with and all this reasons and excuses, and we just see it. It's there. And that's why I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. Yep, I like the show.
Well, there's some in Discord, right? So why are they coming on the show now and saying their piece?
Maybe they just like listening to us speculate and just snicker in the background and until they're ready.
Why would you join a show, go on mute for the whole show, and have the opposite view?
Lover, this Fermi Lab idiot that doesn't even know what a hypothesis is. He thinks he's all that in a bag of chips, but will never, ever come on this show because his spine is the same color as this yellow icon I see. Clown.
Yeah, my prompting of neutrinos being addressed was from that gentleman right there. He seemed to be all high and mighty on them.
He doesn't even know what a hypothesis is. He's a pretender clown. I've drug him around by the short hairs so many times. It's friggin' unbelievable. He posts a picture of his Fermi Lab badge, right? I got your badge right here.
Is that a real lab? Fermi Lab?
Yes, time for breakfast.
So he works at a firmament lab and he's a Glober. Well, if you're chatting in Discord, just come live and make it odd. Say that again. Stationary Globers.
Stationary Globers. I like that.
Yep. They ought to just be kicked out if they're not going to chat.
You mean geocentrist?
I gotta go, guys.
Nice.
Battery's dying.
All right,
Thanks,
Ranty,
Ranty.
get
It's lovely
that.
having you. Good to speak to you.
All right,
Yeah, good
Ranty.
to see everybody's still at it. See you again.
Get
Later.
See you later, Ranty.
See you, Ranty.
Later, Ranty.
Highlander, you still there?
Leave Highlander alone. He's got a bad throat today.
Yeah.
Well, just checking to see how he was.
Because we're nice like that, right? You all right, Highlander?
Yeah. The one with the bad throat is the only one that actually spoke.
You got the... Oh, I'm sorry. You did have the blind sniper in there.
Oh, did he go?
The pants.
I love the pants line.
He's in the after show. I could just drag him back up.
Yeah, I want to know how he...
Drag him back up.
All right, he's here.
All right, blind sniper. We want you to explain to us how you can leave your pants and not change them. Okay?
Explain what? Explain what? Hello?
You made a claim earlier this week that you can take off your pants or change your pants, right? And not leave them.
Why are y'all focused on pants?
Because we were talking about reference frames, and you decided to give an example using your pants. So yeah.
So you're focused on pants.
We're focused on the
We're
silliness
delving
that
into
you
the
said
psychology of
regarding
the
your
stationary
pants.
baller.
We don't care about your pants, actually. It's just the
So
funniness
why
that
y'all
you
asking me
said
about my pants?
regarding your pants.
Sniper.
Why the hell are y'all asking me about my pants?
This is gonna be funny. Do you have amnesia?
Can we
No,
play
I'm
the
asking
quote?
you why you asking me about my pants. Why y'all so focused on the pants?
For November.
I think he's
20
retarded.
The Blind Sniper for November 2019.
I can change
Okay,
pants
you're
and not.
Blind Sniper
Okay.
for November 2019.
I could change pants and not leave them.
Who is this idiot?
Change pants and not leave the pants that you're in?
The Blind Sniper for November 2019.
I could
So
change
you're
pants and not.
basically just calling me on the show so that way you can mute me later, because that's all y'all do. Every time I'm on the show, you mute me. You complain
But
about
you're,
being funny
but you're
muted,
talking right now.
and then you mute
You're
me.
talking right now. You're not muted. You can speak. We can
Yeah,
hear you.
I'm muted now, but every other time I was on the show, I get muted.
So do
But
you
you're
have
not.
anything to say or just complaining about how you get muted?
So what's the problem with the pants? Like, why are y'all so focused on the pants?
We were
He,
talking about
Hello?
reference frames, and you brought up pants. What was the connection you were trying to make?
I was the point of that was change and leave are two different things. That was the only point. Why are y'all so focused on the pants?
How does that relate to reference frames?
How can you leave your
Because they
pants
were
and
talking
not
about
change them?
changing and
Or how can you
leaving.
change your pants and not leave them? That's the question.
Why are you focused on the pants? The whole point was the
Because
difference
you said it.
between change and leave.
You brought it up, you retard.
You
Are
said it.
y'all
We
retarded?
just
Because I'm
heard it.
asking you a question.
Oh
All
my
right, he
God.
concisely
Change your
explaining
pants
his
and not
position
leave them.
there. So
Why are you focused on pants when the whole argument was that there was a difference between change and leave?
Because you brought it up. You said
So
you
you're
could
focused
change
on the
pants
pants
and
instead of
not.
the whole
Shut
point of the
up.
argument, which was
Shut
there was a
up.
difference between change and leave.
Shut
You want to
up.
focus on
You just
pants.
heard what you said.
So
Why
you
are we?
left your
Oh
pants?
my
Where did you
God.
leave them? Where did you leave your pants?
Fuck it. No sense in me trying to fucking
When?
talk
What
here.
day? Since you're focused on my pants, go ahead and ask a question about my pants.
We don't really care about your pants, buddy. You brought it up.
Then stop asking me about my pants.
No,
What
we're
the
not.
hell?
You brought it
That
up.
don't make no sense. You're
We
not
have
making no
no more
sense. You're focused
questions
on
no
about your
pants,
worries.
pants.
then you're
Can we
not focused on
change
pants, and then you're
the
asking me
Explain.
about pants.
Hey, can you explain in Coriolis or detail Coriolis effect?
Okay,
What
I
about
got
it?
one question about your pants. Are they fancy?
No, I don't wear fancy pants.
All right, let's get this more to what he was trying to say. We were talking about reference frames, and you brought up the pants. I want to know what your connection was to the reference frames with your pants.
I just told you there was a difference between change and leave. That was it. I mean, I just explained that like 3 times.
When you change your pants, are they still on you?
No, but I could put them on my shoulder and they're still on me.
But you didn't say that till the end of that argument the other week.
But I also
So,
said that same day.
no, what I'm trying to say is this malformed connection you're making here. If you get out of your pants,
No, what
you're
I'm
no longer
saying
in them.
is there's a difference between change and leave.
There
Now,
isn't. There isn't. You can't change your pants and not leave them.
You
right?
can leave them and
Why
not
not?
change, you
I can
know?
carry them around with me anywhere I want to without having them on. I can still change my
You have
pants and
grown
still
up.
carry
Can
them
you
So is
around.
that
can you
what's happening
carry
with the
around?
Coriolis?
Can you carry around a reference frame once
Perfect.
you leave it?
Perfect, chocolate.
thank you,
Perfect.
chocolate.
You don't
Yeah, did you
leave.
put
You
the
don't leave a
reference frame on your
reference frame.
shoulder?
Yeah, hold on. Let me answer Chocolate's question.
You don't leave reference.
His question was, can you chuck a reference frame over your shoulder? Because that's what the context was when you compared it to pants.
Well, it's a coordinate point. It's not a physical thing.
So that would be a bad analogy then, right?
That's a very dumb question.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So we're all clear then. The pants analogy was crap, and that's why it got brought up.
No, it was just to show a difference between change and leave. Y'all
There
too
is
focused on
no
the pants.
Try again.
Put your dirty pants.
Get the pants out your
in the
mind.
washing
Get the pants
machine
out your
and
mind.
drop this argument.
Leave the pants behind.
You can't
Don't focus
change
on
your
pants.
pants and not leave them. You can't leave your pants and not change them. This is friggin' incoherent second grade globetard nonsense. That's the point.
I'm going to try, hopefully, to round out without too much baby noise. We'll see how I get on. So with that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the people who joined us in both Discord and G+ panels for making this live show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in the live stream for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Stay tuned if you are watching on Nathan Oakley 1980, as there will be an after show to follow. But unfortunately, if you're watching us live on the Nathan Oakley channel, this is where we bid you farewell. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!